to this week's Household Huddle. Before we start this week's huddle, I want to say thank you to all of our friends who shared pictures of their burning bush lights from last week. Awesome job, everybody. Okay, now before we jump into this week's story, let's take a minute to remember the 4 steps in a household huddle. Do you remember what they are? Breathe. So first we take a deep breath, because taking a deep breath helps us to slow down and to be present where we are. Share. Then we share with one another, sharing a high and a low, or a joy and a concern. And this is when we not only get to share, but we also get to listen to one another. It's also during our sharing time that we get to share the story from the week. Reflect. During reflect, we get to take some time to think about the story. Maybe thinking about what the story says to us, or how it connects with our lives. Sometimes we also reflect by doing an activity together. Thank. And finally, we thank. Sometimes we thank someone in our household huddle for something they've done, and sometimes we thank God for something we've experienced in our lives. It's as easy as that. Okay, my friends, so today's story comes from the book of 1 Samuel. Now, I'll give you a hint. The book comes after Genesis and Exodus, but before Jesus is born. So do you think 1 Samuel is in the Old Testament or the New Testament? If you said Old Testament, you are correct. Okay, now we have a few characters in today's story. There's Nabal, who was a very rich man and lived in the desert. He had 1,000 goats and 3,000 sheep. There's David, who was the head of the army, who later became King David. And there's David's messenger, who went to talk to Nabal. And finally, there's Nabal's wife, Abigail. Okay, so there was a man named Nabal who lived with his wife Abigail, and they were very wealthy. They had thousands of sheep and plenty of food. David's army was camping near Nabal's house, and sometimes Nabal's sheep would graze near David's army, and they would help protect the sheep by keeping away the wild animals. Everyone was living in peace together. One day, David sent his messenger to ask Nabal for some food. Nabal did not want to share. He got angry at David's messenger, and this made David angry because he and his men needed food, and they had always been nice to Nabal. David's army decided that they were going to attack Nabal. It could have been a disaster, but then Abigail, Nabal's wife, stepped in and saved the day. She quickly prepared loaves of bread, wine, sheep, grain, raisins, and fig cakes to give to David's men. She apologized to David for what Nabal had said and done, and asked David to live in peace with them. David knew that Abigail was right and that God wanted everyone to get along. Nabal and David's men learned that it's better to share than to fight. Okay, now here are a few things you might want to talk to your huddle about. What did Abigail do to change what happened in the story? Of all the food that Abigail shared, which thing did you like the best? Abigail helped David and his army when they were angry. When you see someone who's angry or upset, what could you do to make them feel better? If you could be like one person in today's story, who would you be and why? Great job, everyone. Okay, if you're looking for an activity to do with your household huddle, how about making some Abigail Trail mix? You just need to find something to represent the loaves of bread, the wine, the sheep, the measures of parched grain, the raisins, and the fig cakes. What if in your trail mix you put 20 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep, 5 measures of parched grain, 10 raisins, and 20 fig cakes? Mix them all together and you've got a yummy snack. Or maybe you might want to be like Abigail and make some to share with someone else. Well, my friends, we always end our household huddle with a thank you. And our friend Skylar actually sent in a video thank you for today. So take it away, Skylar.
I'm thankful for Pastor Carrie for giving me all these fun projects. They're very fun. She's the best.
Thank you to everyone for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy your household huddles this week. Remember, household huddle can happen anytime and anywhere, so just be creative. But no matter where you are or what you're doing, remember that you are amazing. And don't ever forget that God loves you just the way you are, and so do I. If you'd like to share a picture of your Abigail Trail mix to be part of next week's Household Huddle, you can email them to Pastor Kelly at oldtownucc.org.